Card King, here I come. Hello, sports fans, sports collectors, and all hobbyists. Welcome to the Card King Sports and Variety Show. I am your host, the Catman, Brian Cataquet, a.k.a. the Card King. We are live on ABC's KMET 1490 AM.com. Your number one spot right here for news and talk on the West Coast. I thank everyone for tuning in this morning. On the telephone line, I welcome to the program a boxing legend. He's a Hall of Famer, former light heavyweight and heavyweight champion of the world. I welcome in the great Michael Spinks. Michael, what an honor to have you. Thanks for being on.
No problem. No problem.
You know, Mike, you're such a sports icon in the sport of boxing. You influence so many fighters, such as Evander Holyfield and many more. And, you know, I wonder, as that kid growing up in St. Louis, did you ever imagine you would have all this fame recognition? One day you would be a champion?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
And it was actually your brother who got you started into boxing, right?
That's right. Yep, Leon went to the gym and came home and told me that he went to a boxing gym, and I think I went the very next day.
And, you know, you're just reading about your illustrious career, you know, your brother Leon, and you also have a nephew that fights, right? Corey Spinks, right?
Yes, yes.
So it was definitely inherited in your family, in the genes.
Yeah, yeah, you can say that, yeah.
And then, you know, many people may forget, but in 1976, we got to bring this into light. You and Leon became the first brothers to win the Olympic gold medal that same year. How was that feeling for you?
Yeah, that felt pretty good. It felt pretty, nice and good. It did, yeah.
Man, so I was going to ask you, Mike, growing up in St. Louis, was it a tough neighborhood?
Yes, it was. Yes, we got beat up a couple of times. Yes, we did.
So you learned how to build your chops in the streets in St. Louis?
Not really. We went to the boxing gym to learn how to do it right.
And I bet you when you became a world champion, all those kids, those people in your neighborhood, they must have really, looked up to you.
Yeah, they didn't bother me anymore either.
So I'm looking at your record, your boxing record here. You know, I grew up in the 80s, so the three big names, the big fighters that I recall on your record that you fought, I recall, of course, Tyson, but also Jerry Cooney and Larry Holmes. Now, Jerry Cooney, he was always known as a fighter who had a devastating left hook. And, you know, Larry Holmes was the fighter who could always, hit hard. And Tyson was so quick with his punches. Out of those three, which was your most challenging fight? Cooney, Holmes, or Tyson?
I think Tyson was, because he was pretty dangerous in the ring. He was pretty dangerous in the ring.
And if we can go back to that Tyson match, can you bring us back? How did you prepare mentally, physically for that battle against Tyson?
Well, I just trained hard and tried to get ready for him. That's it.
Man, and reading the history of that fight, from what I understand, that was the biggest payout of one event. I think it grossed like $70 million, that fight.
Yeah.
70 million. You know, I'm not a boxer, but if I had a chance to make a few $1 million, I'll go into the ring and get knocked out myself and and collect the couple of $1 million.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Man, so what about when you fought Larry Holmes and you beat him? That must have been a tremendous feeling for you, Michael.
Yes, it was. It was. It sure was.
And, when you won the belt, along with winning the belt and becoming a world champion, you get so many accolades and so much attention. When you reached that status, Michael, was it hard to deal with all the fame that you received after being the world champion? How did you deal with all the fame and attention?
Well, I dealt with it. It wasn't too hard, but I dealt with it.
Now, were you surprised that you beat Larry Holmes? Did you feel that when you went into that match, did you feel that you can really take him down?
No, I trained hard for it, and as it came to me, I accepted it.
And you end up beating Larry Holmes, which is was a tremendous battle. Now, looking at your record again, what's interesting, like as I mentioned, you were born in St. Louis, and the only fight that you had in your hometown was back in '77 in the Kiel Auditorium. Do you remember that match?
Yes, I kind of remember it. Yeah.
I mean, this was the beginning of your career, the Kiel Auditorium, where you fought Luis Rodriguez. So if you go back to that time in your history, that must have been special. I mean, here you are going into the ring in your hometown representing St. Louis. Do you recall anything about that fight against Luis Rodriguez?
I kind of recall it in my memory. Luis Rodriguez, he was pretty tough, and I think I beat him. I beat him at the Kiel Auditorium. I think I beat him.
You did beat him, but now Eddie Benson. You also fought Eddie Benson. Now I don't know if Luis Rodriguez or Eddie Benson was your first professional fight. Do you remember? Was it Eddie Benson? That was in Las Vegas, I believe.
Eddie Benson, yeah, I remember him too.
Yeah, so I think that was either the Rodriguez fight or the Benson fight. Those were your rookie fights, and you ended up beating them. Now, getting back to Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, that was a big fight back in '81, and that took place in Las Vegas. What do you remember most about the Eddie Mustafa Muhammad fight? Because that was a big one in your career, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah, I don't remember too much of it, but I did beat him.
You beat him, and just out of curiosity, Michael, when you training fighting all these fighters, like what's your mental process before you go into the ring? I know a lot of boxers have rituals, and you're a two-time champion, and what rituals did you have prior getting into one of these matches? Did you have any rituals?
Well, I just pray. I would pray hard for the victory, and after I would pray for the victory, I would go in there and take care of business.
Man, and one of the greatest facts about the Spinks family is that your brother beat the great Muhammad Ali, right?
Yes, he did.
And I know it was an older Ali, but still, to have to take Ali off his throne by a Spinks. I mean, you must have been proud of your brother when he did that.
Yes, I was. I was at ringside when he was doing it. At ringside, rooting him on. Yep.
Now, did you give him any advice before that big fight with Ali?
Well, I was at ringside rooting him on, and I was helping him beat Muhammad.
Oh, so you were like his coach?
Yeah, I was. I was at ringside coaching him. Yeah, you can say that. Yep.
Wow. So, I mean, you must have been, like I said, you must have been so proud of him. I mean, he beat Ali.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yes, it was. I was really proud of him.
Unbelievable. And we're talking with the great Michael Spinks, Boxing Hall of Famer, who's on the program this morning. Michael, when you made it to the Boxing Hall of Fame, how big of a deal is that for you, or was that for you, making it to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it was a big deal. Yeah, it was a big deal. It was nice.
And
Very
this was
nice.
1994, I believe you got inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. When you retired from boxing, what did you end up doing? Did you miss it? Did you follow the sport? Do you still follow the sport?
Every time I can watch a fight on the TV, I'll watch the fight. I'll watch a fight.
And it must bring back a lot of memories. I mean, a younger,
Yeah.
even like a younger Michael Spinks, when you retired, did you wish you could still be in the ring and battle?
Not really. But I do remember the days being in there and fighting the fights. Yeah.
And Mike, any fighter you wish you would have fought that you didn't get the opportunity to fight in your career?
Not really. No, not really. I think I fought my share.
And one of the interesting things that I heard you say once, Michael, is when you fought Rufat Riskiev. I think that's how you pronounce it, the Soviet Union fighter from Russia. Yeah, you lost to him in Russia, but you beat him in Montreal, right? So you gave him payback.
I lost to him in Russia, and I beat him wherever it was in the Olympics. In the Olympics, yeah.
So he beats you in Russia, but you with a comeback, you get him in Montreal, Canada. So
yeah.
Now another interesting thing about your brother. Now he was a Marine. He was a Marine, right?
Yes, he was.
Amazing. Now, what about Butch Lewis? Now, Butch Lewis, was he responsible for signing you?
Yeah, he signed me as a pro. Yeah.
How was Butch Lewis to you? Did he treated you well? How important was he to your career?
Yeah, well, he was very important in my career. He was very important. He was the guy that signed us up. He had signed Leon first, I think, and then he signed me later on, and he was very important.
Now, did he also sign? Did he also sign your brother?
Yeah, he signed Leon too.
Oh, he signed Leon too.
I think he signed Leon first, I think.
All right, so he signed Leon, and then he signs you. And then what about Corey Spinks?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that he signed Corey.
Now, do you still keep in contact with Corey? Do you give him any pointers when you speak to him? If you do,
no, I don't keep in touch with him.
You don't keep in touch with him, and
I do?
Oh, you don't keep in touch with him. Now, I wanted to ask you. I saw you at the sports card convention a few weeks ago. Do you still get a thrill signing autograph for your fans?
Yeah, I do. I get a thrill out of that.
And can you believe? I was going to say, can you believe how big the sports memorabilia business is?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's big.
It's huge. I mean, do you still have some of your old boxing trunks? Do you save some of your uniforms, your boxing gloves?
I think I got some gloves at home. I think I got some boxing gloves at home.
I mean, as you know, that stuff is worth a lot of money. I mean, what do you plan to do with that stuff? You plan to pass it on to your family, or are you going to hold on to it?
I'll just hold on to it.
Right. So where else can the listeners listening to the program catch you? Are you going to be doing any other events coming up?
Well, I go around signing autographs. I go around signing autographs. Whatever you do,
Appearances.
huh?
You do appearances.
Yeah, appearances, boxing appearances that I do, and sign autographs and sign pictures. So it's still going on.
And now you don't have a website, right, where the listeners can go on to or anything like that?
I don't have a website, do
Um, no, but you're on Twitter at Mike Spinks Jinx.
I? Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Mike Spinks Jinx.
Mike Spinks Jinx on Twitter.
Yeah.
Now that and you bring that up, Mike Jinx. That's your nickname, right? In boxing, how did that name come up?
Butch Lewis gave it to me. Butch Lewis gave it to me. Yeah.
The Spinks Jinx, huh?
Yes.
You know, one of the speaking about the Spinks family, one of the things that puzzles me, I don't know if it does to you, when Leon, when he was stripped of his title by Ken Norton. Do you recall that?
I can't recall.
I mean, that's one of the things that should have never happened, but it did. Ken Norton.
Uh, I can't recall.
So I know you've been out of the game for a while. Making it to the pro level in boxing, from your standpoint, I know your brother took you in and all that, but is it very hard to make it to the pro level if you're an amateur boxer?
Yeah, it probably is.
Like, what exactly do you need? I mean, you need speed. You got to hit hard. Is that necessary to become a good fighter in your view?
Yes, I think so.
Because here you're a two-time world champion. So what does it take for an amateur fighter to become a world champion? Does it take a good manager to get you those bouts? Does it take connections, or does it take talent?
It takes talent and good guy, a manager, a good manager as well, and it takes a few skills that you need to get in there and do your thing.
So the few skills like like footwork is very important. You got to have stamina too. Now, is jogging, like building up the stamina in the ring? Would you say jogging is very important, or not necessarily to build up
Yes,
stamina?
it is jogging, and get your wind up. Yes, it's very important to jog and get your wind together. That's very important.
And what about weight training, Michael? Did you do a lot of weight training?
Not really.
Not really. So so this came natural to you, this ability to fight.
Yes, I think it did, because as an amateur, I worked out, and when it came to weight training, I didn't use a lot of weights, but I worked out very, very hard.
Now, were you a runner? Did you run a lot?
Yes, I ran a lot. I ran a lot.
And what about like nutrition? What about like what did you eat? Did did you eat a lot of protein?
Yeah, I ate a lot of protein. That was very important too. That you ate right. Yeah.
Well, a lot of like steak and eggs and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can eat a lot of steaks. That helps a lot when you got in there to do your thing. Yeah, wait.
Wow, and I have a few minutes left. Yeah, so this is amazing. So now, um, what about like why why do you feel boxing doesn't get the recognition on television that it did in the 80s? The 80s, it was all over the television sets. It was huge, a huge sport. Do you think the sport is still as popular as it was in the 80s and 90s?
No, I don't think so. You don't get you don't get all the attention that it got in the 80s.
And why is that? You just feel that they don't promote? Do you feel that they don't promote it well, the sport of boxing?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah,
sure, but they probably don't.
man. So my final question to you is, so what do you have coming up in your schedule? Do you have any events, any dates that you can mention now, or we have to go onto your Twitter page to find out?
I gotta go onto my Twitter page.
All right, and the Twitter page, if you could just say it one more time, the Twitter page for everyone listening, Michael Spinks, is called Jinx.
What is the Twitter page?
Michael Spinks Jinx.
Michael Spinks Jinx.
No, Mike Spinks.
Mike Spinks Jinx. So,
M- Mike Spinks Jinx, and that's where they
yes,
can catch. That's where they can catch all your events coming up.
yes.
All right, Mike. Listen, it was great to hear your voice. I saw you at the show. You look great. You look relaxed, and I hope you're feeling well.
All right, I feel pretty good.
It was an honor for me. We just heard from the great Michael Spinks. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Take care of yourself.
All right, good enough. Thank you.
Bye bye. Michael Spinks, everyone. Until next week, happy collecting to all.